Right. So, yes, I am. There's no internet access. The lift is broken, and I'm currently in the hotel lounge where there's free Wi-Fi, just about. Very poor quality. I'd just like to start by saying, anyone who watches this, I'm not interested in people from police abusing powers. A couple of individuals that I've already reported to YouTube have started harassing me again. I'm not interested. So, and again, I will say again, I have a YouTube disclaimer. You've already caused me damage. I've been feeling physically ill today and suicidal, which is why I contacted NHS 111 5 times today. Yeah, so everything that I've put in the description says it all. And the title, Councillor Robin Maxted, Grace Hill. I've privately recorded you. Well, Grace, you hung up on me after saying that accommodation where I've been assaulted and attacked is suitable. And I also played back the recording of our phone call. And I texted it to my lady witness friend because my partner commented on that. And yeah. So what have you put on record? Because who's got the monopoly on this? But either way, for every phone call where I've been lied to and fobbed off and hung up on, and now you only write down, do not live stream, and all you've done is send me an email, which I haven't read yet. You basically you've basically sent me an email telling me not to live stream, even though my lady witness and I find that that's all I can do. You left me with no choice. But yes, now I record everything privately. It's pretty damning already. Because for a second time now, Councillor Robin Maxted has failed to stop and correct. And my lady witness has told me, Juliet has said to me that today, she left a voice message for Robin. So he's even ignoring my lady witness who's trying to recover from cancer, who collapsed in public toilets the other day, and she's the only person who wants to help me. You've endangered the life of a vulnerable woman who has plenty of evidence, who's recorded neighbours complaining, and my lady witness and her friend have both helped me, and they are witnesses, key witnesses at the building, the Home's First council accommodation where I recorded people complaining. But Grace, you told me in the phone call that due to whatever was on record, that contradicts what I'm saying. So, but either way, you've still hung up on me and you're complicit in putting my life in danger. And so is Councillor Robin Maxted, who is refusing to stop and correct the failings of a vulnerable woman and a constituent of Eastbourne, who's on severe disability and once again funding a hotel with thousands of pounds worth of back severe disability pay, because I've been here for nearly 7 months now. In a few days' time, it will be 7 months And Councillor Robin Maxted, you already failed to stop and correct in 2019. When I recorded the ward review, I'd been dragged into St Mary's House, the building that's failed me for the last 17 years that I moved to or was trafficked to Eastbourne, 2005, under adult social care. And they failed me when my mother was dying. I've put my mother's death certificate up so it can be seen publicly, but doesn't matter because it's all for my personal documentation, and there's a YouTube disclaimer about sharing. The point here is that you'd already failed to stop and correct because you said to my partner in his flat they cannot release her with nowhere to go. And I recorded the ward review where Jackie Lake, the ward manageress, is saying, yes, we can. And 4 months later, I was arrested out of there in hospital pyjamas with nowhere to go. And I was arrested back into a police cell. The amount of distress this has caused me and my partner, I can't see the wood through the trees anymore because a lot of people have said he's emotionally abusing me. So, Caroline Ansell, who's been complicit in my failings, the local MP, has used my partner as a pawn, a scapegoat. Right. So, yes, 5 times today I have called NHS 111. I'm trying to cover up how physically ill I am. Spoke to, most people would be screaming blue murder. They wouldn't last 2 minutes in my shoes. Attempted rape, domestic violence, my mother's death, police, etc., blah, blah, blah. All of that rubbish. And all this rubbish that I'm fighting. It's all just BS. And anyone can make up a website that offers help. Because I'm realising that a lot of the deluded people who've been attacking me from police abusing powers are no different from the people I'm trying to keep away from for my safety. It does make me wonder if some of them are actually protected ex-convicts or something. Or criminals. Why would they be doing this? Anyway. So yes, I spoke to, a little while ago, my last phone call to NHS 111. It was a paramedic called Tom. And I think I've spoken to him before. And when I think he got a little bit scared when I started talking to him about how serious this is, what's been done to me, and it's a local government level. And then both of us must have forgotten that I'd asked him his name, because I asked his name again and he didn't want to give it. And then he ended the call very quickly. And then I realised, hang on a minute, he said his name was Tom. So this is exactly what Lucy at the MP office did. You know, the same lady who said she had to report someone from an abusive call handler. And that same abusive call handler is someone I've had to report against, someone from police abusing powers. So, thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm just going to leave it here for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know where I'm going to be during the night, so you don't have to come and look at from me. Yeah?
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's a bit embarrassing. because it's nice and quiet. So, so this Tom, I then spoke to someone called Patricia, and I just explained everything to her, and I reaffirmed how they've left me in this position, that I've seen an awful lot. I know of a lot of individuals who've taken their own lives at these failings. I'm also aware of certain people who are looking at my documentation. Again, I say to you, this is from my personal documentation. Unless I've given you permission to share, when I haven't given anyone permission, but I'm not going to comment on that. But yeah, so anyway, I just have to put the disclaimer up. It's already there, but I have to I'd like to reaffirm that. Yeah, so there was the ward review failing, and Councillor Robin Maxted has still failed me again. Along with Dr. Caro, I had to say to this Patricia from NHS 111, my 5th call earlier, that Dr. Caro from the Lighthouse practice, if you look him up on the website, he talks himself up as someone who's interested in all aspects of all areas of people's lives. Yet when I was telling him about how my life has been put in danger in one of these places that I've been illegally placed in, he said that I was going off on a tangent. I said, I need something to help me sleep, just Zopiclone, something to knock me out if nothing else. I never got out that night to the all-hours pharmacy because at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was attacked by yet another drunk licensee who left blood on my door. And I filmed the police, who confirmed that the licensee had left blood on my door. And someone, the neighbours cried out, they said, what's going on? Could you keep the noise down? And I was saying, can I have a witness, please? At number 14. And this is it's got a notorious bad name, this place. There was one time where I thought I was going to be killed when the first time I moved in there while I was in the bath. But so I live streamed this licensee attacking me, and this is after Dr. Caro had prescribed me something to help me sleep, which I never got that night because, as I said, in the early hours, I was attacked. In the same way that at 3 o'clock in the morning, that individual that you can hear on the dictaphone was threatening to beat me senseless when I rang 999 and they arrested me on a fraud for a welfare check on Beachy Head. And then they trafficked me from there to the psychiatric unit where I was assaulted, back to the accommodation where my life has been put in danger. So there we are. How I've lived to tell the tale, I don't know. But many people have said to me that most people would have given up a long time ago. Yeah, I know. You wouldn't last 2 minutes in my shoes. So, I'm still here though. But I'm feeling physically ill. I'm just trying to hide it right now. So, yeah. Several failings, and Mel from the urgent care lounge, this is the crisis team, by the way, she was aware of what was happening because every time I went down to the urgent care lounge, I was practically falling asleep. One time I did fall asleep for a few hours, telling her what had been happening in the accommodation that I've been illegally placed in, where my life has been put in danger by the police, by Sussex Police and Sussex Partnership. And all members of the council are covering this up. And Josh Beberindi will know about this because I filled out an online application form about 6 weeks ago, 15th of March, the day before my birthday. And he's got time. I've even messaged him on Facebook. He walks across Josh Burundi, OBE, who wants to take over from the current MP that he's appalled with. But Caroline Ansell, as you saw, she advertises her services on the leaflet that I showed in the last video. She's failing me and she's failing my lady witness, because David, the MP caseworker, said we get complaints like this all the time. I was told by someone in the lounge down here that vile creature, I know you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but if they are vile, they're vile. She was from the traveller community. She'd attack us. Her partner threatened people with a hammer. She'd walk in covered in blood because she'd get that drunk that she would get hit by a car. She was known to the police and no one did anything. But I've since learned from someone in this hotel that used to be like the Grand Hotel and now it's known as a homeless hotel. She's taken her own life. Short space of time. There are a lot of people, and you don't think that Beachy Head, a world-famous suicide spot, is strategically placed in a town with major cover-ups and corruption and a stronghold for Freemasonry. Because Councillor Stephen Holt, when you failed me over that ward review, where I recorded them saying they cannot release me with nowhere, where Councillor Robin Maxted said you can't release me with nowhere to go, and I recorded the Ward Manageress. 2 days earlier, me in hospital. This is a hospital where my mother had been dying of cancer. Oh yes, and yet staff in the hospital, in our NHS hospital, said that for 3 hours they did nothing about a drunk. But I put my arm up to protect my partner and I was dragged into the doors. The door, I fell on the floor, I was dragged. It happened so quickly. And a Freemason Hospital Porter, a much older man, old enough to be my father, I could tell he was a Freemason from the hand gesture. And he left me alone with this thug. So, Tom, you don't want to know, but you've met me. Councillor Robin Maxted has spoken to me in my partner's flat. All these people, you're all, Grace Hill, you're all complicit. I've privately recorded you. So whether it's public or it's private, you are complicit in failing me. And I have witnesses. That's all I'm saying. So that's a little update. Yeah. Again, I end this live stream by saying I have a disclaimer about sharing, and so I would appreciate it also if people could stop harassing me, and it won't do you any good not to take responsibility for your own actions. There's evidence of appalling abuse. And my lady witness said, why didn't Dan report it? So to those individuals who are still harassing me, I would just stop because I've already reported you.